Well, the weekend has begun. It does not mean we end things here. For today, we're going to be doing three reviews for all of you. The first one is, of course, we continue with more of the Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. We are now in day four. And this one's a special day because they're in Fukuoka, which is the home of Koguma, Hazuki, and Maika. For this particular day, they're calling themselves the Fukuoka Triple Crazy. Basically, these are ladies who are crazy because they're from the city of Fukuoka. So it's a lot of fun. But we do have matches from both from the red and blue goddesses block. So we'll be reviewing those as well. And then of course we have New Japan Pro Wrestling. As we know, we continue with day 8 of the Super Junior Tag League. However, a little bit of a complications. It seems there's been ties, but the obvious thing is who will be making their way to the finals to face TMDK, the Ichiban Sweet Boys. That's a question we're definitely going to be reviewing a little bit on that one as well. And then we ended with, of course, with AEW Collision featuring interesting matches, but the main event features the AEW Women's Championship on the line. Mariah May defends her belt against Anna Jay, so we will see. Will we see a brand new AEW Women's Champion, or will Mariah May reign continues to reign supreme? We just don't know. But we'll cap up our episode with some news updates to keep you guys updated on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what offensive promotions are thrown out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews with various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions are set aside. It's time to get the highway. So, let's begin with our very first review, and this is from Stardom. Okay, Stardom. We are now in day 4 of the Goddesses of Stardom Tag League. So basically, this took place recently, and it was in Fukuoka, which is the hometown of Maika, Koguma, and Azuki. So if you all notice, all three of these ladies are from that very same place. If you guys wondered, it's because, of course, FWC, which means, F I know means Fukuoka, and C means crazy because those guys, both Koguma and Azuki, are crazy. If you guys ever seen that one cage match the Stars was in with Queen's Quest back in 2022, Azuki was really, Koguma was really crazy, and of course, Maya was like the type of person like, why I got myself in this mess in the first place. But it makes sense. But Micah, who's also from that region, wanted to join the party. But the reason this team up happened was because it was Micah who kind of talked sense out of Azuki and her depression after losing to Natsupoi in that white belt challenge. So that was the main reason. But we'll get to that because they are part of the main event. Now, of course, the show opens up with Micah being there, giving the lowdown and telling people whenever they see their opponents that they have to boo them. So basically, trying to get the hometown heroes to be cheered. That was the whole point. So makes perfect sense. Now, our first match is a six-way match. Well, let's just call it a scramble match if you like. We have Sayaka Mitani versus Rian versus Momo Kogo versus Hanan versus Mina Shirakawa and versus Suri. Now it was all chaotic, anything could go around because it gets crazy no matter where it goes. I mean, not to mention Mina being Mina, Sayaka Mitani being like all heelish and all that. But in the end, I did not expect who was going to win, and that was of course Momo Kogo when she applied the Nectar Peach onto Rian, allowing herself to pick up a win. Now, you may not say this is a one of Momo Kogo's big win, but it was just a win, even though she tries her best as possible. So it was at least a win, but not the best or the greatest yet. So we'll see what happens. Now let's jump into one the Blue Goddesses block match. We have, of course, Godzai, Lady C, and Hina taking on Cosmic Angels, Saru Anu, and Natsupoi. So basically, so far, we know that Lady C and Hina has not picked up any points yet, but we do know that Saruno and Natsupoi have picked up two wins so far. But in this particular one, they had to be more careful when it comes to Lady C being tall, and not to mention doing the giant swing, which is the last thing that either one of them want to be in. But luckily, it was, of course, Sari Anu with the special pottering on Tahina that allowed them to win and pick up their first 2 points. Their next 2 points, leaving them with six, making it, I believe, their undefeated streak so far. So we'll see how that rolls up from them. Now let's jump into the red block, the red goddesses block. We have hate members, Ruka and Natsuko Tora, taking on Neo Genesis, Miyu Amatani, and Azumi. Now the reason this match was placed is because both these teams were in fact at the bottom of the barrel with just 0 points. But of course, when it comes to hate, they will definitely try to pick up a win by any means necessary by cheating their way through, which is what they're known for. And that's exactly what happened because it was Ruka who pinned Azumi to win this match. So that leaves Hate with their first 2 points. So I don't know for sure if they will make it all the way to the end, but we'll see. Now we jump back to the blue goddesses block. We have, of course, the other members of Cosmic Angels, Aya Sakura and Yuna Mizumori, taking on Kohaku and Mei Sita. So basically, also much like what we saw in between Hate and Neo Genesis in the last match, they're also at the bottom of the barrel with 0 points. So many of you may think that there could be a possibility that Cosmic Angels will pick up a win. I would have agreed so, but you look at the factors that of course, Kahoku and Mei Sita, they are not a full blown team, but they were able to work the way in. But it was, of course, Kahuko who actually picked up the win by pinning Aya Sakura, giving their team their first 2 points, leaving, of course, Sakura and Yuna with 0. So we'll see where this leads them from here. Now we jump back to the Red Goddesses again. We have, of course, God's Eye members Rana Yagami and Tomoka Inaba taking on Cosmic Angels, Sayaka Kurata and Tam Nakano. So, of course, it was an interesting match. Now, remember, Rana Yagami and Sayaka Kurara, they both came from the same class they debuted in December of 2023. And eventually, of course, they all went their separate ways once they saw Yuzuki making her play to join Stars. So, but Sayaka Kurara was unable to pick up a win against Yagami in her singles match. And she was hoping, of course, she mentioned in post-match comments, that she would have gotten an opportunity to pin her. But in the end, it was Tam Nakano with the violet screwdriver onto Tomoka Inaba that allowed her to pick up their first 2 points, leaving, of course, Yanagami and Tomoka Inaba, I believe, with zero, I believe. But we'll see. Now, our last match of the Goddess Tag League is the Blue Goddesses. We have the Devil Princess, consisting of Azusa, Inaba, and Rina, taking on Neo Genesis, Suzuki, and Starlight Kid, which is a very interesting matchup because, of course, it's no secret about Rina and Starlight Kid. They know each other too well since their time with Oedo Tai. You would have assumed that Neo Genesis would make a big impact, but no. It was Rina who picked up the win when she applied the schoolboy on Starlight Kid, giving the match. And during the post match, Rina did a promo making their mark, saying that both Rina herself and Inaba will win the entire tournament. Well, don't get too cocky. You got a long way to go. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our main event, we have Hanako, and she teams up with the members of Star, consisting of Saya Ida and Mayu Iwatani, taking on Fukuoka Triple Crazy, consisting of the hometown girls, Koguma and Azuki and Maika. So, of course, there was a lot of factors that was going to help out. Now, Hanako, we know she has picked up some good wins when she applied that new move, the Shigaragi. I think that's the move that she learned from Nakamura. Um, and of course, Koguma being Koguma, there was a moment you see she had Maya Iwatani chase her, and I'm like, don't ever chase the bear. That's one of her tactics. But Maya did it anyway. But unfortunately, it was Maika who picked up the win with the Michinoku driver, allowing for her and her team to pick up the win. So it was over, and that was pretty much it what happened for this particular day on Stardom. So yeah, that's pretty much. So we'll see what happens on day 5. But right now, let's move on um, with day 8 of New Japan Pro Wrestling Super Junior Tag League. Okay, we continue with more with New Japan Pro Wrestling with the Super Junior Tag League. Now, we're focusing on the B block matches only. Now, as you know, on the last episode, in the A block, it was the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Kosa Fujita, and Robbie Eagles of TMDK that made it to the finals. But the real question does tell who in the B block will most likely head to the finals. That's the $1 billion question. So let's begin right now with match number 1 of the B block. We have the Velocities versus Bullet Club. Now remember, Velocities is their first time being in. So far, they picked up 2 impressive matches, not to mention defeating the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, the Jet Setters. But they could actually cash in an opportunity for those belts in a later time if they don't win the tournament, which is an optional choice for them. But we just wait and see what happens. But however, in this particular match, Robbie Eagles and Tai Shimori has pulled up really good cohesion. Now that Robbie is a member of Bullet Club, so basically they picked up a good win. Ishimori applied the 450 splash onto Paris de Silva, and just like that, they win, getting 2 points up to 6. So basically, Velocities are out. But remember, majority of the entire block ended up tied up. Now, our next match, we have DKC and Ninja Mac taking on Catch 22. Now, remember, Catch 22 has already won the Super Junior Tag League last year. But the real question is, can they pull it off this year? That's a question we will find out if they make it to the finals. But they have to go against a team that you can say they can get along if possible, but they were able to pull off the 2x2 only 2 times, because the first time they kind of messed up on that one. But well, they were aiming for Ninja Mac, but DKC took a bullet for him and just took it. However, This time, DKC did not make it through to save him again. Apparently, he was unable to do so. Mac was the one who ended up being on the 2x2, and TJP was to pick up the win. Now, the next match is the crucial one that will determine whether who will go to the finals. We have Roppongi Vice, Rocky Romero, and Yo taking on the Jet Setters, our current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Champions, uh, Kevin Knight and Kushida. Of course, it's no secret that Rocky has been in matches with Kushida before and all of that. But however, it was of course the Jet Setters that picked up the win with the perfect timing onto Rock Romero to give him the win. However, this is where the crucial happens. Now remember, when it comes to the point system, it gets a bit tricky because you don't know how this will roll up. People might have assumed that the Jet Setters winning this match indicates they go to the finals, but for some odd reason, it was Catch 2 who ended up in the finals. So they will meet up with, of course, will meet up, of course, in the finals against TMDK. Was a match that I think many fans want to see. So, of course, the Jet Setters were not happy that they did not make it to the finals. But, however, this indicated that we will see that match between TMDK, the Ichiban Sweet Boys versus Catch 2. And I can't wait to see how this match will go because this will determine who will win. Now, I cannot say which one I want the other, but if I was honest opinion, I would go for the Ichiban Sweet Boys due to the fact that they have, as you know, Rob Eagles made a good valid point. Now the TMDK are on the top at the moment with Zack Sabre Jr. with the IWGP World Heavyweight title. It's time for the Ichiban Sweet Boys to step up their game. So that's something I think we can see. So we'll see what happens until then. But for now, we'll end things here and move on with our last and final review, AEW Collision. Okay, AEW Collision. As you know, we have brand new AEW World Tag Team Champions Private Party. As you know, every tag team in the locker room are now having their sights set on the brand new tag champions. Now, of course, obvious question we ask ourselves, who will be in line? Well, take your pick. It could be anybody. Now, of course, Private Party talked about their win, what their plans and all that, but one team in particular seems like they want to win the tag belts. Seems like they was about to start a fight. But I have to say, I praise the Outrunners. Despite that some people think of them, they're a bit weird, but they made some good, honest points. They said, the Young Bucks are no longer around anymore. Private Party are. They are the new tag champions. But however, the sign on the outside doesn't say Private Party. It does not say FTR or the Outrunners themselves. But what he does mean, the AEW is where the best tag team wrestle, and he made it absolutely right. Even and basically, they were being praised for commenting that they're right. It doesn't say AEW doesn't say FTR, it doesn't say Private Party or Outrunners. So, as I said, who will be the Lucky Charms? We have that already. Kyle Fletcher and of course Takeshita already targeted. We did see, of course, Lance Archer and Brian Cage also on it. So basically, we have too many opponents that want to have a crack at Private Party, but we'll see what happens. But however, one particular team that seemed that they are also going to be targeting that is none other than the former two-time AEW World Tag Champions, The Acclaim. However, it seems something has been changing with Max Caster when Evan P showed up, so we'll see what that goes. I hate to see the Acclaim actually split apart, but I think some people would say maybe it's about time. Who knows? We'll see. Now, our first match is the Dia de los Muertos match between Harley Cameron and Thunder Rosa. Now, Harley Cameron, as you know, I don't know. She's really off the cuckoo's nest, tried to paint face her facing. She is like Thunder Rosa, but come on. There's only one Thunder Rosa, and she brutalized her completely. So basically, she put her in a trash can, then she used the table to leverage herself, and boom, just like that, it was over. Uno, dos, tres. Adios. Good night. So that's it. Now, Roderick Strong, he knows what's at stake for him. He wants to get a shot at MJF for the punk that he is. So basically, that's what he's been going. So, however, he right now has his hands full with Shane Taylor, so he will cede to that. And then, of course, I mentioned Lance Archer and Brian Cage. Well, as you know, Roderick Strong, Taven, and Bennett will definitely want to have a shot at the tag belts. But, of course, they're not going to allow that to happen. We'll see where that goes. Now, our next match, we have Commander versus Kyle Fletcher. Now, Kyle Fletcher has now shown a brand new look, brand new wrestling gear, stepping away from what Will Ospreay did to him, blaming him for all of that. But it was, of course, Kyle Fletcher with a somewhat brainbuster on the top of the turnbuckle to his head that put him away. However, he wanted to punish Commander over after defeating him, but Mark Davis showed up to try to stop him. So it seems that maybe Aussie Open is finally over, but the real question is what's going to happen. Kyle Fletcher is trying to tell him that Will Ospreay has held him back. So we'll see where that goes. Now, as you know, Daniel Garcia has been confronting Jack Perry in every aspect, not only because of the TNT belt. Basically, he wanted to see him something up. So we'll see where that leads us from there. Now, our next match, we have Brian Cage versus Lance Archer versus a couple of, enhancers, Sean Smith and Joe Keys. But I can tell you this match ended with a combined powerbomb choke slam by both Cage and Archer. But it was Cage on the pin Smith, who ended up on the wrong side of that, and it was over. However, they wanted to continue the mass destruction on their opponents. Thank God for Undisputed Kingdom, Taven, Bennett, and Strong that showed up. So basically, we'll see what happens. Now, Lexi Neer was intending to, of course, do an interview with AR Fox, but Nick Wayne, who hasn't forgotten what happened to him when AR Fox and Swerve attacked him in his school, and then, of course, talked about Hook, thinking that Hook was not going to show up on Wednesday. However, AR Fox doesn't believe what Nick Wayne says. He says, don't sleep on Hook. So he thinks that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But AR Fox, maybe he knows Hook very well like he thinks he does. So we'll see. Now, of course, Chris Sadlander, after what happened with her this past Wednesday defeating Camille, it seems that she's not happy how Mercedes Moné took it too far. So now she's aiming to become two-time TBS champion. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, once again, Jon Moxley, along with his cohorts, make their way and all this and that. However, Orange Cassidy also was there. Talked about Wheeler Yuta. Talked about, do you remember the Wheeler Yuta who spent a night in my house with my roommate, Chuck Taylor, that sort of thing. And of course, Wheeler Yuta tried to knock him out, but it didn't do any well for him because he got orange punch. And Orange Cassidy just went up the hills. Don't know where he went. Our next match, we have on Action Andretti versus Pac. Well, I don't know what Action Andretti was thinking, but he ended up on the wrong side of the brutalizer, and then Orange Cassidy showed up again, just to help out. So we'll see what happens. No, never mind. Moxley was talking about Orange Cassidy, but Orange Cassidy showed up and gave his peace of mind towards Wheeler Yuta. My bad. My head's all over the place. Sorry. So yeah, so you saw what that happened. Now, of course, we see Leo Rush versus Arya Daivari. Of course, he has to deal with the members of the Premier Athletes getting away. I mean, I can't stand those guys. But it was Leo Rush that took out Arya Daivari with the final hour, and just like that, he was done. Now, we did see a very interesting interaction between MXM Collection and Johnny TV. So basically, Johnny TV said he has his eyes on MX, say that they are good dudes and all this other stuff. And they said if they want to collab, just slide out in his DMs, and he just did this and slide out. And they were like, he has the best exit ever, and they just elevated down. So I thought that was great promo right there. I loved it. Now, our next match, we have Roderick Strong versus Shane Taylor. Now, of course, we have Shane Taylor, one of the toughest SOBs on the planet. But I don't know if you call this a botch because it seems like Roderick Strong took him out with the knee strike, but Shane Taylor kicked out on three. I cannot tell was it botched or what or a mistake, miscommunication. I don't know. But the fact is, Roderick Strong won. MJF saw it. So does Kyle O'Reilly. So we'll see where that leads us with them. Now, as for our main event, we have AEW Women's Champion Mariah May defending her belt against Anna Jay. Now, of course, Mariah May says that Anna Jay doesn't belong in AEW, but Anna Jay put up a good fight. You would think that Anna Jay learning from what she did in Japan would help her. It was not enough until Mariah May pulled up a roll up, retaining the belt, and of course, mockingly Anna Jay knowing that she lost. But sooner or later, we can believe that Anna Jay will become AEW Women's Champion. We just don't know when or where. But we just pray she does become AEW Women's Champion. So I think that's pretty much it what we have for all of you on all our reviews. I believe it's time for our last and final thing, and that is, of course, news updates. Okay, our news updates. So let's begin with, of course, upcoming events. Well, we only have one. Sendai Girls will have another event coming up on the 17th of November. I just don't remember where, but I know it's in the Tokyo area. It could be Shinkiba, it could be Shinjuku, or Korin Call, whatever. But the match was announced it's going to be Suri teaming up with Aja Kong, taking on the final boss, Meiko Satomura, and one of her students, Manami. So that's going to be a good match. Now, let's talk about certain developments that have been announced. Many of you remember this Yoshi wrestler, Reika Saika, who formerly wrestled with Wrestle One and Tokyo Pro Wrestling. Well, apparently she just announced that she has gotten married. So congratulations. Many who know this or not, many Japanese wrestlers don't talk about their personal lives that much. They kept it quiet until it happens. Uh, Let me pull out her statement she put out on X recently. So let me see if I can pull it out for everyone. Here it is. This is what she said. I, Reika Saiki, would like to announce that I have married someone I have been dating for some time. My partner is is a non-celebrity. He is fun, comfortable to be with, like a best friend, and he spent time together as lovers. We became loving and indispensable presence. So yeah, so basically, unaware about her personal life. Many of you may guessed it. But however, she's not the only one apparently who's keeping their personal lives private. So is DDT's very own Kazu. What's his name again? Kazusada Iguchi also kept something in private, and he hasn't been seen in DDT for quite some time. I haven't been reviewing any of their events recently, but this is what he put us on his X account. I apologize for being a personal matter, but I have something to report. This time, Kazusada Iguchi has registered his marriage with uh, Naraoka, a member of the Yoshimoto Kyogu acting group. I'm currently absent and still have a lot to learn, but I will work even harder and do my best. We're looking forward to continue guidance and support. So yeah, so well, they're not married yet, but I would say congratulations. Now, if you guys are part of the San Diego area, you may know we have a wrestling school here in San Diego, mostly in the National City area, called Primal Pro Wrestling, which is a wrestling school that started by my friend J2. They just put on their social media that they are starting a beginner's class on December 30th. It's between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So you can go on their social media and look it up either on Facebook, on X, or on Instagram. So message these guys that you guys are, if you're interested in becoming a pro wrestler or you know someone in the San Diego area that wants to be a pro wrestler, give them a heads up. and the holler. So um, there you go. Now, don't know if this is 100% reliable, but however, Wrestle Purists have put out some good reliable reports. Sources reported that Daniel Bryanson has been meeting with officials from the WWE about potentially making his return to WWE. Um, I don't know we don't know for sure if there have been, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure Sean Ross Sapp will definitely try to hear something about it. If he has reported something about that, I'll let you guys know. Now, as you know, Shota Umino, who's been a disciple of John Moxley, has not been on a good way when it came to his decisions, what he's doing. He actually talked to Tokyo Sports and he talked about challenging Moxley. This is what he said. I obviously do not approve of the way he does things. I also know how cure cure you. First of all, send me a message and all I want. Since losing the IWG title in the US, I have not received any messages, phone calls, or communications. Maybe the time has come. Anytime, anywhere. Come face to face in front of me, you bastard. So basically, just like what Eddie Kingston said, he hasn't heard anything from Moxley since this whole thing happened. So it seems that Shota Umino is also getting that same kind of vibe that Kingston is feeling. So we'll see where that goes from there. Now, many of you remember Baron Corbin has been one of those people that's been announced that he'll be let go from WWE. Well, apparently someone commented that WWE fumbled the bag on this one, big time. And he responded by saying, I appreciate that and feel the same. I mean, he started to think that maybe that's the case. They did fumble the ball. I mean, I'm sure some of you would say that it's really BS of them to do that, but business is business. Nothing we can do about that. So we'll see what happens down the line. Uh, and finally, NWA has announced that they have a new uh, territorial partnership with a group called League Wrestling. So basically, they're sending territories all over, just like the old days. So don't know much about them. So hopefully, more information will come. So I think that's pretty much it what we have. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Uh, I'm not sure what's the next episode's gonna be, but I do know I haven't seen the much recent Mighty Gold events. Hopefully, get to see those soon. There is a current Stardom event continuing with more of the Goddesses Tag League, so we'll see what happens until then. But for now, I haven't decided what's next. There are still some events I have to catch up with, but we'll go from there for now. But we'll see what happens. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.